Hey everybody, I am Frank Deserto, editor here at PostPunk.com, and I'm joined by Bootblacks, who just released their fourth record, Thin Skies, Friday, October 9th on Artofact Records. So everybody doesn't know you already, try to introduce yourselves to folks at home.
Okay, so I'm Panther. I am the vocalist for Bootblacks.
I am Barrett. I play the keyboards.
I'm Allie. I play guitar.
Awesome. Thank you all for being here. So, again, we're people here to speak with y'all. Tell us about the history of the band. Let's get the boring history conversation out of the way.
Allie and I have known each other for, I guess, a very long time. What is over a decade plus, right? We met each other in another band playing music in California.
Holy Kiss.
The Holy Kiss, yeah. Let's mention that. And that was the kind of beginning of our journey together as musical partners. And this band, we moved here together to play music in. So that's at least part of the history. That's the genesis, if you will.
And I will.
And it's very important to distinguish, are we talking Peter Gabriel Genesis, or are we talking Phil Collins Genesis?
Peter Gabriel. If you ask me, I don't know.
We're talking Phil Collins.
I'm right in the middle, man. They both satisfy my needs.
Well, that being said, how long has the band been together?
Well, I guess officially since 2000. Well, I would say 2010 because we moved here in 2009, but nothing about the band really kind of got off the floor until 2010.
It was late in the year then, too, when we got started.
Yeah, but we have been kind of throwing around the idea when we were in California together and, moved here essentially together. So, yeah, but 2010 officially.
Cool. And that brings me to an important question. 10 years, what's driving you? Like, what's the modus operandi, if you will?
Well, I mean, 10 years is a long time, but I also have to say, like, in a lot of ways, like reflecting back that it's been the same band for 10 years. I don't know I feel like I've been in 4 or 5 separate bands during that 10 years, even though like the one consistent thing is obviously with Allie. There's been a lot of ideas about what we should do. There's been a lot of, tries, hits and misses and experimentation and different band members. So it is kind of weird for me to reflect 10 years looking back because, again, it doesn't really feel like it's been the same band for 10 years. And but I guess it has. So, in a weird way, Bootblacks as a consistent moniker of my creative output with Allie has kind of been a little bit of a, it's a good timeline to look back about the different ideas I've had about music or what I've wanted to do. So that's just speaking personally, but yeah, it's weird to think about 10 years and it went fast. So
I'm just glad I'm not the new guy anymore. Thanks, Larry.
Right. Yeah. He's officially not the new guy.
The progression between what you were doing when you moved to New York and started the band and then Thin Skies,
the progression, at least for me, is, again, it's sort of like whatever, if they were good ideas or half-baked ideas over the last probably 10 years of wanting to try different things creatively or musically, that's kind of what we did. And I think, I have to give respect and credit to people who were in the band that are no longer in the band and their contribution to that. And I really do think often a lot about it that the biggest change was removing the bass from our sound and incorporating electronic bass. I think that is just something I keep coming back to as like a milestone for us kind of developing our own sound and where we are now. Now, a lot of other things have happened since then, but I think that was a big moment for us to do that. And also, time has gone by and, age has gone by and records have influenced us or not influenced us through different times. And, we've taken different stabs at different styles and with varying degrees of success. But I think all of that's part of making the journey that is to develop our own sound, or at least I think we have our own sound, but that is the goal.
So what sort of unsuspecting influences do you think have manifested on this record?
Wow. Well, I mean, I think going back to what Panther just said, I think having different members over the years, I mean, even before I was in the band, I could tell that there was a lot of differing influences kind of all mashing together. And I think that's kind of been the joy of being in the band, is that we all have very drastically different influences, and there's a lot of crossover in there, of course, but like we're all kind of bringing something different to the table, and we're all respectful of each other's opinions about music. And I don't think anybody ever says, no, we can't do that. Like that is the respect that we have for each other. And I think, you know, I'm sure when I joined, I brought in some different things that they hadn't had before. And now that Larry's joined, it's another step in this evolution where, you know, we're constantly just adding these different new ingredients. And I think that all just contributes to what comes out of us. It's nothing preconceived or pre-planned. I think it's just we've all been on different journeys, and I think they've all hit this crossroads together.
There's so many bands who do the same sound over and over again and who project the same influences. I don't get that. Like I get a lot of things on Vince. You know, I feel there's some Britpop on there, and some EBM flavor, a little bit of techno, these kind of things. Maybe techno not so much, but Britpop is almost seemingly like a bad word in our scene. You know, like it's like
it shouldn't be.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah. I think that the reason that I love the '80s is not because I want to kind of create a replica of the '80s, right? But what I admired about the '80s was like that it was a pioneering attitude or spirit at the time, and that's what's exciting. So I want to embody that rather than be like sort of a direct, you know, like a cover band or stuck in a genre space, right? So I think that's what was exciting about that is, I don't know, at least for me, like the '80s as a decade, it kind of had a sense of optimism and futurism and kind of belief that, I mean, I know living in it that I felt like it kind of had these unlimited possibilities going forward, right? And so like I kind of miss that attitude in music where it's like I don't want it to be retro music, right? I want to kind of embody, you know, obviously there's a ton of sounds and aesthetics that I think can be well mined for a long time, and I think those are really good. But I you know, again, I want it to be something new, right? So, you know, yeah.
So you mentioned the futurism of '80s music as far as like the tech and obviously the culture and MTV and all that. How does what's going on right now, anything that you're writing or creating?
Yeah, I mean, not even to something that's really specific politically, but I think culturally as well that, like, I mean, it's crazy. We, you know, relatively do live in the future, but I don't think that there's a general sense of optimism in art or music, right? And so I really do miss that. And I guess that was kind of trying to touch on with the question about like '80s music and '80s aesthetic, is that there's this kind of optimism or belief in I don't know, that the future will be grand or exciting, right? And I think that's missing, and that's a complex reason why that is. And you know, again, the band's not political in nature, but yeah, I really miss that.
Yeah, I think there was definitely that just vibe in the '80s where people were willing to take the risk and experiment, and like anything goes. Like just, you know, you want to put a kazoo on there, put a kazoo on there. Like who fucking cares? Like, you know, as long as it sounds good to us and we're happy and proud of it, then, you know, we're gonna put it out. And the fact that people have been enjoying the new stuff is the dessert. You know, it's.
So you've had saxophones, you've had trumpets. Will there be a kazoo on the next record?
How do you know there wasn't one on this one?
That's a great question. Tell me. And well, speaking of solos or anything sort of that, there are definitely some guest collaborators on the record. Is this the first time you've had folks guest on your record?
Yeah, I think featured maybe. I mean, we've had other people maybe contribute parts. I know when we did Veins with Brian, he did, you know, he played on the album somewhat. Again, which is something I'm always totally open and cool with. I don't understand why not, you know, include creative people on your album, but I think this is the first time where it was more of an intentional effort to like feature people, right? So yeah, other people have done stuff or contributed ideas or played, but this is definitely the first time where it's an intentional objective to feature and include people on the album.
For those who aren't familiar, we have Shannon and Jason from Actors both contribute vocals, if I recall correctly, and Kennedy is from Syracuse as well. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, represent. There you are.
Yeah, you know, she's our girl.
Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, so for those who've never been in New York or caught Bootblacks on tour in Europe, wherever it may be, Bootblacks are by far the best live band I've seen in many years in a way that is unparalleled. A lot of bands put out the records and can't carry it live, and that's fine, you know. But so how? So I feel like Thin Skies is like a record that really actually did capture your live energy. How did you bottle it up? What?
Jason Corbett.
Yeah, this is the Jason gush that we do for every interview. But Barrett's right; it's well deserved because it's just flat out. I mean, a big part of it, I think, is not only that he is a good producer, a great producer, but you know, we did tour with him, so I think he was able to kind of understand the sensibilities of us as a live band. And thank you very much for the compliment about being a live band. But we've always kind of considered ourselves a live band, and you know, we've taken, I think, good stabs at our records in the past, but I think our focus has always been on the live show. So it was really cool to have a producer that not only we were on tour with, so he actually had real time kind of study of us that he could implement. And it's also a good thing because being a band that has so much emphasis on being a good live band, or a band that people say, oh, you have to see them live. Well, we can't play live. So I'm more than thrilled to have a record right now that can capture some of that. So that we're in this time of not, you know, playing live music, that it's, you know, it has legs and it's working for us. And you know what, wherever we're in debt to Jason for that, he's a great producer and just a lovely person. And again, you know, we were talking about collaboration. You know, I have no problem saying nice things about other people that we work with and create a debt to, because I think it's a weird thing that at least in music right now, I don't feel like that's done enough. So.
Was he a kind of a hands-on producer? Like I think of production in two ways, right? I see it like the Brian Eno method, who we're all familiar with through obviously Roxy, his own work, Bowie, whoever. Someone who just takes ideas and kind of adds his own thing.
He added quite a bit to this. I mean, he really was the fifth Beatle here. Like he not only, I mean, and that was kind of our goal when we started writing the record. And knowing that he was going to produce it and everything, we wanted his creative input, not just him to say, yeah, this is great, I'm going to make it sound great. But like, he literally added parts and did a lot of, you know, cutting and suggestion. And, you know, we wanted to trust somebody creatively, and we did with him, and it came through. I mean, we're completely thrilled with the way it came out. And I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. It's just he knocked it out. Like it's the first time I think a full album I'm happy with every single song on it.
Yeah,
like,
same.
You know, there's always that one track on an album where you kind of struggle with, and you're like, you know, I wish we could have done this. I don't feel that way at all. Like, I listen to these songs still, and I'm like, yeah, it's great. I'm completely happy with it, and I'm ready to move on to the next thing now. Like, we did it. It's a good bookmark of where we were at the time, and now we're ready to move on.
He just has a good knowledge of like equipment, and you know, embarrassingly enough, I say this, I'm not a huge tech person with music, right? And I could be better at that, but he's really great at that too. So he can make kind of practical suggestions about the stuff that we bring in that I think just adds a lot. So, you know, it's also a bit of an education process with him, which I'm, you know, happy to have.
It's always great being in the studio. Like, it's just fun to sit with people who know what they're doing, and just like, we'll look over their shoulder, and you know, it's always a different experience, and it's always interesting and fun. And like, I just we could spend hours and hours and hours in the studio, and I'm never ever like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. Like, it's just fun.
I can't remember the last time I was in a studio. I mean, most records are made these days in a bedroom or at a house. I mean,
yeah, he runs a small studio, to be fair, but it's, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting because it's sort of it's sort of an in-between situation, you know? I don't know. The glory days of the big studio are gone, I think, but yeah, we can get a lot done.
It's definitely cozy.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. It has that nice familiar, like, you just feel at ease as soon as you walk in.
Well, speaking of writing, like, how do you write? What's the process like?
I think it's centered around the bass. I think that, I mean, if I were to kind of survey how we've done it, I think it's always around the bass. I think that we create a kind of a melody or a I don't know, sort of attitude or vibe that the bass line kind of dictates, right? And then we try different beats over that. And then once we kind of establish something that's a groove, then usually Ali comes in and kind of adds the ethereal texture or the kind of sadness usually to the top of it. And then I'm definitely last because I do think that at least for me, as the song's kind of developed or developing, that my job is to sort of narrate the feeling of that song. So yeah, it definitely starts from the bass.
So you don't have a theme in mind or an idea or any sort of lyrical idea?
No, totally not. Yeah, because I think again, kind of, I think the motto is to be kind of anti-genre. So I would just kind of like, oh, this sounds cool, and it might remind us of something. So might say, oh, like you said, you know, maybe Britpop, which is a forbidden word. So I'm kind of like interested in contrast a lot of the time. So it's like if something has like a goth or post-punk or Britpop undertone, we usually try to find something that sits oppositional to that, right? So that's usually because Ali has a very distinct guitar style and tone. I think that usually if we have something that's, you know, a bit industrial or post-punk, or name the genre, that we usually use her guitar to kind of counter that influence. And that's not in a bad way, just to kind of alleviate it being too genre driven.
Mm-hmm. I think this also goes back to having played music together for over 10 years. Is we feel really comfortable just trying out ideas, you know, just kind of throwing stuff at the wall. And the Panther especially is really good at picking out, like, I'll just be trying different ideas and he'll be like, that thing you did 30 seconds ago, do that. And he's like, that's it. You know, things like that. So we just feel really comfortable with each other, I think. Just trying out different ideas and just kind of like letting loose. You know,
Ali and Larry especially are the idea machines. They are just constantly churning stuff out, and Panther is very good at curating the stuff. Like, take that, and my job generally is just to kind of add some atmosphere to the end of it. You know, just kind of, you know, flesh it out a little bit more. And I think that's, for the most part, that's how a lot of the songs kind of come together. I mean, there's exceptions to the rule. Somebody might come in with a very specific idea, like I want to do this, but yeah, I think that pretty much covers how it goes.
And Ali, speaking of dirty words, by the way, I've always the way that your guitar has this like the edge thing going for it. It's Britpop. We also say, but we have to talk about you too being like the dirtiest word.
I love Britpop. I think that's a wonderful compliment. Thank you very much. There's been some things that we've tried that have come off like very like Manchester, that like we love that stuff. That has a real like Primal Scream is definitely an influence of ours as well. I love all that.
Stone Roses, all that stuff is fantastic. I mean, why is that a bad word? Like,
and also, I'm just going to flat out say that Edge is an incredible guitarist. I mean, like,
absolutely.
I think that people like U2 has become to mean something else, right? But like those records and that guitar playing is like seminal, beautiful post-punk music, and I won't say this for Ali, but I mean the edge. I mean any comparison there is a compliment. You know.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Yeah, of course.
The vanishing point exterminator sound is something I actually really hear in a lot of the Bootblack stuff, especially Thin Skies. The churn, that messing electronic nasty edge, nasty. And I think you encapsulate that very well. I think that's something that's missing in a lot of bands who have this electronic hybrid focus on synth pop, or they're a little too romantic, and that's nothing wrong with that in any way. But there's like a sinister edge, I think, to what you all.
I mean, that's really interesting because I know I was only listening to Huey Lewis the whole time we were writing.
It's not a lot.
No, but we shouldn't be afraid of mashing these things up, right? You know, and like it's like all of it's good, and dipping your toe here or there aesthetically in any department of the band, whether that's the rhythm section or whatever, it should be encouraged. And so, I mean, I don't know. It sounds a bit pretentious, but I mean that is the driving sort of manifesto of the band. Is that like most people have eclectic music taste, so like we should be doing a better job of putting them together, and that's the whole goal.
Amen. Fucking men. So something. All right, this one's kind of for Panther, but also for the rest of you. You've been on record many times when everybody's asked you what you're listening to, and it's been Steely Dan.
Here we go.
When are we going to have the Steely Dan cover? When will that influence that we're talking that permeates everything?
Well, okay, look at me first of all. Yeah, okay. Like we can see that with the facial hair and the actual hair, which is becoming beautifully feathered naturally over time. It's already happening. I think if anyone's interested in understanding the Steely Dan influence, they should look at our live from St. Vitus videos. I do essentially look like I'm moving product in Miami at some point in time, or could be a backup horn player for Michael McDonald. So I think I'm wearing it right on my sleeve. It's not a secret. I have always said that at a certain age that I will be in an easy rock, yacht rock band of some type. I will quit this band and
definitely living in the Keys.
Absolutely. I'm moving to Florida Keys, and I do intense vocal warm-ups to get myself to the level of a Michael McDonald. So that is my future plan. I'll see you in 10 years. Here I am. So yeah, it's coming soon. It's coming harder.
There ain't no mountain high enough.
Yeah. This is not a quarantine beer. This is a yacht rock beer. So there you
respect, dude. Respect.
Blue Blockers, I'm looking at you.
So having known you all for a long time, your sense of humor comes out really well in these interviews and in our hangs and everything that you do. But like, Firstly, how do you balance the humor with the music, the serious music that we're also to make? And secondly, how is your sponsorship deal with Bud Light going?
Well, it's funny that you should ask that.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit thirsty right now.
Is that refreshing?
Very. Sorry, continue. I don't know. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, look, I'll just comment on this quickly because I do think that I think that music is serious, and we do serious stuff, but also, I don't know, I think there is too much pretension and seriousness in music, especially this genre, and that doesn't mean that you don't care about things or you aren't interested deeply in music or art or other things, but I don't know, we like to laugh, we do have a sense of humor, and that is our true personality, so rather than put on a pretense of something that we're not, I think that part of music and art in general is sharing a piece of yourself, and there is a silliness and a joking that we are as people. So I would rather be genuine than disingenuine. This is genuinely who we are, for better or worse. And unfortunately, I do think there's not enough of it. But hey, here we are. So we'll see.
Fill in the void.
Yeah, I mean, I can't listen to Wagner and smoke cigarettes in a studio like Ian Curtis. I think that's a very romantic idea about what a musician is, but it's just not who I am, so sorry.
It didn't
I
really
will be starting a yacht rock band in Miami, so that's what's happening.
Before or after we have our sitcom?
Why not during?
Yeah.
During?
Sure.
Pack
A full Bootblacks takeover, every genre, every medium covered.
That's right.
It's a good idea. Speaking of mediums, let's talk videos. So there's parts of this video story. There's a St. Vitus video, which you mentioned. A video for every record. It's 9 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
That was
Well,
a person.
it's funny because we actually hatched that plan before this year. Like, we were still in the writing process for the album when we were like, because that was kind of one of our regrets for Fragments, was that we really didn't have any videos out for it. And we are, I believe, all children of MTV. And, we grew up watching music videos, and we feel like they're a viable, entity. And so we were like, let's get crazy. Let's shoot for the moon. And our goal is a video for every track. So we actually are going to do it. And we had a lot of them done pre-quarantine, pre-COVID, this whole thing. So, whatever, it worked out. Like, we can't play shows. We can't play live. Everything is online. So we had, a lot of friends come through and, collaborate and make these things with us and for us. And it worked out. I mean, what else can we say about that? Like, we love videos. We love making them. They're fun. And, some are just ridiculous. Some, they're their own medium. And I think there's still space for them.
So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. That was perfectly said. I just think that we were sort of lucky. I just want to reiterate that because of how things worked out. So I think it's just kind of, we're lucky to have something to visually accompany this stuff, because we did a live thing, but it's also, it's good to have like something visual to accompany stuff, considering that live music isn't a thing anymore. So.
So how many are out now? You have 4 out now?
We got Traveling Light, we got Jealous Star, we got Thin Skies, we got Hidden Things. What am I missing? Nostalgia Void.
Yeah.
So we got 5 of them out. We've got another one ready to drop any day now, maybe.
Yeah.
And we still have the other ones in the works, and they're coming along. So we're gonna see it through. We're gonna make sure it was a goal, and we're gonna get to it. So
it's interesting because a lot of like these like festivals or going online. So we were it's nice to be able to offer them something, that's just different from us in a rehearsal space or something like that. So.
Panther, you were talking a bit last night on Instagram about the St. Vitus show. Unique thing to do. You mentioned to show the empty club and to show how fucking weird everything is. What was that day like?
That day was incredible, to be honest. Well, first of all, let's give a shout out to St. Vitus.
St. Vitus.
That club.
Best venue in New York.
George, David, everybody that works for the place.
Artie.
We have, Jeff.
Jeff.
Everybody, every show we've played there has been amazing. Like, it feels like our second home. It really does. And we've played so many shows there at this point that it does feel like our second home. And Sean and Mondana, Red Party, they got in touch with them for us, and they made it happen. George was like, we're not doing anything. Let's do this. And it was a great day. It was actually the first time we had even actually kind of seen each other like that week. Like, we did a couple rehearsals beforehand, and months had gone by since we had seen each other. And So it was a pretty emotional day, I'll be honest. Like just being on stage and playing the songs, and even though there was nobody there, it's still a cathartic experience to be on stage playing music with other people. And you know, we had the opportunity to just kind of hang out afterwards. You know, Sean was DJing for his Twitch stream afterwards, so we were goofing around and having some drinks, and you know, it was a brief sense of normalcy. And it was sorely needed. So I'm very thankful for that day.
Yeah, it was great. Everything that Barrett said is, you know, I mean, it was weird because it was sort of bittersweet, at least for me, because, you know, just being in that space, which is kind of iconic for a lot of my memories and a lot of great shows we've had there, it was kind of weird to, you know, do it to an empty room, you know, and yeah, it was bittersweet for those reasons. But I'm happy to do it, and I really hope that our wish and intent with putting that together was to kind of, you know, highlight that we're in weird times, but also to kind of grab some of the ideas and energy of a live show, you know.
And nothing will ever replace that experience. Nothing comes close. Whether you're on stage or in the crowd, I mean, we all love going to shows just as much as we loved playing them. And, you know, I cannot wait till we get back to that because, I mean, it's our life.
Yeah.
What do you think the future of that in?
Well, a lot of people don't know about me is that I actually have a PhD in viral medicine, so I can actually give you a extremely detailed. Anyone wants to go to my website, pantherdoctor.com. You'll see my 24-month program where I'm developing a vaccine in my home. No, I have no idea
I just saw the Flaming Lips did a whole show with like everybody in bubbles.
Exactly.
And I was like, well, all right. I mean, I guess it works for them. That's kind of their aesthetic anyway.
No, look,
bubbles anyway. Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I think that everyone's guessing. Even people that are, you know, serious people, you know, as the thing, my colleagues, I should say. No, but seriously, like I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm just really hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic through this whole thing and feel hopeful that we do get back to normal and come back to playing shows. That's as Barrett said. You know, that's a huge part of our life. Going, viewing them, going to them, the whole culture of them, and yeah, I don't know. Who knows? And I hope it's soon.
Well, like you've said, you've laid down a huge bedrock of things for people to discover. So for new fans, there are 4 records, singles, videos, countless amount of stuff to catch up on. There's a new record to catch up on. There's a St. Vitus video. Until then, it's very fortuitous that you all have like positioned yourselves in such a way.
Well, don't forget the Perfect Strangers video. I mean,
let's not forget the Perfect Strangers video.
We spent so much time.
So just trying to entertain them through the quarantine, man. That's it. You know,
that's it. That's it.
So, other than the new videos, what else is going on? Have you gotten together to do any writing?
We've been writing remotely a bit, which has been a new experience. And Larry worked at a music studio that's been basically shut down since this all started. So he's been on furlough, and he's just been writing like incessantly. So I think he has like 50 songs written or something. And I've been sort of like cherry picking them and putting guitar on them, sending them to Parrot Panther.
Parrot
and yeah. And we've been kind of like going back and forth that way. And then we get together in the studio like once a month and try to like bounce ideas around in person.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
Is our celebrity couple name Panther or Parrot?
Parrot.
Yeah, it might have discovered the new Bennifer.
It's Parrot for sure.
I feel like I'm dating myself with that as well.
Parrot.
No, I mean, Allie's totally right about this. Like, we've been kind of walking into the water of like remote writing, and Larry is a great generator of ideas, and which is great because I think I'm lazy, at least. So he's been just kind of he's been doing an amazing job of kind of getting the ball rolling with a lot of cool ideas, and we've been starting to write the next album. And this whole remote writing thing is a little bit different for us because we usually write in the studio, but I think it's going good. And we haven't, the hardworking thing hasn't gone away. So I think every person's definitely, you take it for granted when you're in the studio a couple days a week. So we're trying to do the new version of that.
Always adapt. You got to adapt.
Yes.
Well,
a science fiction movie. It sounds like a tagline from a 1990s science fiction movie: "Adapt, always adapt."
So now's actually a good time for if you want to maybe non sequiturs out or any like one-liners, even though we're not editing this video down.
Bud Light cures Corona. I don't know if that's science, but
I don't know it for a fact.
but I know it's true. Yeah.
But I'm going to believe it.
Yeah. Visit pantherdoctor.com, okay, for all the pertinent information.
Things are standing by. Yeah. So, on that note, pantherdoctor.com. If not, pantherdoctor.org if that's taken.
Yeah. It's not for profit. You're right. Can we make a box where no matter what you put in, just says Bud Light? So like ask any question. So
Oh yeah, that's no problem. I'll whip that right up.
Okay.
Final question then. Rank the Bud Light. Actually, it's not a question. It's a challenge. Rank the flavor of Bud Light. There's the lime. There's the orange.
Yeah.
No, Bud Light. Just straight Bud Light. None of that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
None of you screw with the other Bud Lights at all?
No. I'm a connoisseur. Connoisseur is the word. Yeah.
I just want to say, Bud Light, I will take a sponsorship. I will take a cease and desist letter, but I will not be ignored. And that's it.
I will not be ignored. Yeah.
Let's picture this now. Bootblacks commercial. Maybe the 10th video from record. Sponsored by Bud Light, featuring both your original music from Thin Skies as well as a incessant loop of Blue Monday playing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Until
I can't believe we didn't do a question about Blue Monday.
No, I had him on here. Do we want to end with this?
Let's do it. Here, hold on.
Let's go.
So for those who are just joining us at PostPunk.com, we have heard of Blue Monday. We are aware that this is a band called New Order who wrote.
I want to bring people to this song. It's an underrated song. Not many people have heard. I know PostPunk.com. You guys are some cool guys. You know about cool music, but let me tell you about a song called Blue Monday, and it's fantastic. Frank, take it away.
Yes. So my question is then. I just want to know if at this point, I mean, I know the story. You were there. I was there. Like, for those who don't get the joke or don't know what up? Let's talk about it.
Well, what's going on is that a lot of people.
What joke?
Well, no.
Fair.
No, but it's a joke to people who are uninitiated. They see, you're playing it 13, 14 times in a row, you're bullying people into playing it, and that seems funny, but what's not funny is DJs playing music that no one wants to dance to, no one cares about. It's just like you're playing these songs and you're playing them for yourself because you're pretentious, but everyone just wants Blue Monday. It is the greatest. It is the only song. It is the only song you can dance to. It's the only song that ever matters. So it's like you're starving us. We're sitting in the club, bored, exhausted. We want to dance. Play Blue Monday. And after Blue Monday is over, you need to play Blue Monday because that's what we need and that's what we want. So I don't need the Skrillex or whatever the kids are listening to. Just play Blue Monday. Stop messing around. I know you're very successful multimillionaire. There's 10,000 people at Caesar's Palace pre-COVID, but like you could do better. Just play Blue Monday 2, 4, 5, 6, 8 times, 20 times in a row. I mean,
Dr. Panther.
yeah, go to pantherdoctor.org, com, TD, whatever I end up
EDU.
actually getting the domain name for, and I'll give you advice about your health and also DJ career. So,
I especially love that it's Panther Doctor and not Dr. Panther. That is the best whole thing.
Yeah, well, you know, again, Blue Monday, New Order. That's it. You want to be the world's greatest
DJ. Why are we even a
DJ?
band at this point anymore? Like,
Yeah.
already.
They have no other songs. It's fine. They have zero. I mean, not.
I mean, they have other songs that are okay if you want to drive around in your car, enjoy a bag of chips on your couch too. But in a club, right, it's break out, get wild, cut loose, be a party machine too. That's what I like to say. It's Blue Monday. It's Blue Monday. I mean, actually, I have a calendar, and every day of the week is Monday.
Fuck you, dude.
And Jim Davis and Jim Davis, fuck you, Jim Davis. I'm calling you out right here at Post-Punk.
The creator of Garfield.
That's right. Because Garfield hates Mondays, and fuck you, Garfield. So I want to go on the record of saying fuck you, Jim Davis, and go on the record of fuck you, Garfield. So I'm just saying because Blue Mondays is the only day of the week that I celebrate.
So we will not expect a cover of the Boomtown Rats. I don't like Mondays. That's bullshit. It's fake news.
Yeah, those guys are liars. They're just liars. So, you know, come at me, Boomtown. Not Mondays. Come at me. I'm ready for you.
If you also visit pantherdoctor.com, you also there's a new experiment where there's measurements of time now, and that's what we're going here.
Like parsecs.
Yeah, forget seconds, forget minutes, forget hours, forget the metric system, throw the whole thing out.
It's Blue Mondays.
It's Blue Monday. Just measuring increments.
Like, how long did it take me to drive to the club?
That's right.
To listen to Blue Monday. Right? So, like, if you're coming from your house to the club where you expect to hear Blue Monday, if there's a reputable DJ on deck, you know, that might be 4.5 Blue Mondays till you reach the club to hear Blue Monday. You know what I mean? And it's an interesting idea. You know what I mean? Time is an arbitrary construction of human design, right? We all know that. That's an easy thought, right? But if we're going to assign a number to that, why don't we assign it to a Blue Monday?
Because there are different single lengths and different versions of Blue Monday that clock in at a different time. So
there's Frank. Yeah. That's the Frank I know.
Yeah. What are we going to do about that?
Well, look, you know what I mean? I'm all about, I'm only a libertarian when it comes to Blue Monday. If it's a 5-minute Blue Monday, if it's an 8-minute Blue Monday, that's your own path. That's your own road to walk. You know what
I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
We will all walk that together.
We're not topping this. So let's kill it.
Well, on that note, everybody
visit pantherdoctor.com or whatever is there. So
there might be a small link for you to buy their new record, Thin Skies. I mean, maybe there'll be some information there about it. But
if you visit any of Bootblacks, Bandcamp, for any of that kind of stuff, we appreciate your support. Go ahead, buy our record, but immediately go to pantherdoctor.com after that for all sage advice about your life.